G'day folks, it's Jimmy from the Hard Rock Show here. Today I am at the beautiful Cellini's restaurant, which is in Heidelberg, and I'm going to be interviewing the great man from Electric Mary, Rusty Brown. Let's go! I am here with Mr. Rusty Brown. Now, for those that don't know, Rusty Brown is the singer in Electric Mary. He also does a lot of other things that we've just been talking about, and I'm going to have a chat to him about the Australian music industry, what is going on, and we'll see what he comes up with, because I think he's an interesting character to speak to.
Probably nothing.
Rusty Brown.
Yes.
You have been around a long time in this industry now.
Yes.
Many, many years. Tell me a little bit how it's changed in your eyes from when you first started through to what we have now.
Okay.
It's a long one, isn't it? A big...
Well, the world as we know it has changed.
Yes.
When I was younger, basically you went, even before I started working, you basically went to work from Monday to Friday in Australia, and after work you went to a pub. Mm-hmm. At a pub, a band played.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Not just a band with a record deal, just bands.
A band, yes.
Yeah, and original bands. They played. On the weekend, you played sport. Mm-hmm. Then you went to the pub on the night, Saturday, Sunday, whatever.
Yes.
And a band played. Mm-hmm. You know, I saw Cold Chisel on a Saturday afternoon at the Manhattan. Saturday afternoon. Ferntree Gully. Mm-hmm. Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. Bands played all the time.
Yes. And
you played sport. The classic rock genre which I'm in was the main, kind of music back then. Rock. Yeah. Australia is known for rock bands. That's right. And we had Billy Thorpe, Midnight Oil, great band. And any day of the week I could go to a pub and see, I'll just throw them out here, Midnight Oil, Cold Chisel, Billy Thorpe, The Angels, Dragon, Australian Crawl, Matt Finish, there's many more I've got, Richard Clapton, and they were all in their heyday, they were all in the charts.
Yes.
They were rocking. Mm-hmm. If you fast forward to now though, R&B is the biggest musical force, right? Yep. People still like classic rock, and there's a certain energy that comes with classic rock that people still utilise for, if it's say an ad for a sporting event, they're always going to have guitars in it.
Yeah.
They're not rapping over it. They're not.
No.
They're not. We saw what happened with the Super Bowl the other day.
Yeah, Maroon 5 and...
Yeah. And, whatever they are, great. And good on the rappers and all that stuff. Yeah. They have their own thing. But Australia was a guitar-based rock music, that we had R&B back then, Doug Parkinson and that, but he still had guitars, and they were still live and they were loud. Russell Morris had all these hits. We had so many hits in the 60s and 70s, and that's my first love, all that music.
Yes.
Billy Thorpe was amazing. When he comes on with his heavy rock and guitars. I've got an older brother, so most of my music comes from my older brother.
Yep.
So Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs, Joe Cocker, Jimi Hendrix, Chicago, and then of course I found my own. Well, he had Deep Purple too, but I love Deep Purple. That's my band.
Yeah.
We've lost a lot of the people along the way, as in classic rock supporters. Surfers aren't rock people anymore. They were.
Yeah, they used to be.
mate, there was a whole, you would go to Geelong and Torquay and that's what you'd play. Your rock band would go and do a little tour down on the peninsulas.
Yeah.
Or Rye, or Rosebud, or wherever you're going. Ocean Grove, I don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen as much anymore because surfers are now Jack Johnson or hip-hop. They love hip-hop music because that's the thing they do. And it's a culture, you know, that hip-hop comes with smoking dope and stuff like that. Don't quote me on that. But, you know, surfers in the old day and the rock music and the panel band and the two boards on top.
Yeah,
the old Sandman. That was our thing. And classic rock domain is like really, it's a lot smaller now. And it's a lot smaller in Europe as well.
Right.
But there's more people in Europe.
Yeah.
So people still want to see it.
Yeah.
You can't beat a guitar, but, you know, now you can get on an Apple computer and press a key and it'll play a G and it'll play an A and it'll play a C and a D and D minor 7. And that's how people write songs now. They don't have to learn the guitar.
No.
Right here, I'm strumming.
You press a button and off you go. Yeah.
But they're never going to write Let There Be Rock doing that.
No.
Or Smoke on the Water.
That's right.
They're just not going to.
I agree. You do many things, from belting out Electric Mary songs to intimate acoustic gigs, going on cruise ships, travelling around with a rock star lifestyle that he lives. And you've been doing it for a long time. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? What like after so many years, how is the passion still there for you?
Well, I'll tell you what helps me now with the passion. I just love music anyway.
Yeah.
But YouTube helps me now. Because all this old footage comes up of bands that I love and I'm like, wow, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, right.
How good is that? And I'm straight on the phone to someone I know that likes whoever it is, Bowie or Tom Petty or Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Like now they're saying they've found 41 hours of not Deep Purple, 41 hours of the Beatles from when they did Let It Be in that.
Right.
When they did
It's
the
never
movie.
Been seen.
Never been seen. 55 hours. And 41 of audio or something.
Shit.
And they're making with Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings and that. And he's saying, you know, when the first Let It Be record came out, it was very negative and they were splitting up and that.
Yeah.
He goes, but I'm seeing footage of 4 guys who are happy with each other. So
Yeah, right.
he's going to put another spin on what we've grown up for the last 30 years thinking, oh, you know, they hated each other.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure there's bits and pieces in that. Every band has that.
Of course.
We all know that.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
It's hard to, you know, when you get together in Electric Mary, we get together for a reason. Mm-hmm. We get together for Electric Mary.
Right.
That's why us 5 get together. But when we go in a hotel room and I throw my socks and undies on Pete's bed, he's not happy. You know what I mean?
So you don't hear that. Yeah. That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
know what you're saying. Yeah.
it's like, get those off now. Snoring.
Yeah.
Snoring. Davey Porter had to have his own room.
Yeah.
He had to have his own room. And he loved it. I think he did it on purpose.
Yeah, he probably
you know
did.
what? He didn't even snore. He had a recording. He just pressed the button and went, He wasn't even doing it. He's probably going,
It's gold.
like the Three Stooges.
Interesting stuff. Now, do you think, and this is where we're going to get interesting here, do you think that bands now need to save money and have jobs in a way to get anywhere with the way things are right now?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know much about how the music industry recording side works, as in getting a deal and stuff anymore, because it was different then. So you used to have A&R guys and their assistants who would go, right, tonight I'm going to the club in Smith Street, I'm going to the Croxton Park and I'm going to see these new bands or the venue or something else. And then they would come back and convene the next day and talk about what they saw. Or I saw Electric Mary, they were no good.
Yeah.
Or I saw, you know, the Aliens, or Matt Finch, it's great, we should jump on this band. But it's not that. The easiest way for them now is to have The Voice or Australia's Got Talent or X Factor. Out comes a singer. People watch it. They want to watch it. I say all the time, I'm not watching this shit. but I do.
Yeah, right.
And I see someone and I go, wow, he's pretty good. Wow, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
But they're all back doing covers now.
That's right. That's exactly.
They're all back doing it, and there's only one guy really.
Who?
Guy Sebastian. He's the only guy because he is a great singer.
He is,
and he's got a huge amount of talent. That doesn't mean that the other people don't. There was plenty of them. I've forgotten his name now. Anderson with the long curly hair.
Yeah.
He was good.
He was good.
He excited me.
Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten his name. He's on my Facebook. I look at stuff. I've mentioned Facebook about 50 times now. I can't believe that.
You're becoming a real Facebook whore.
Well, we all live through that for some reason.
Yeah.
But, you know, what an easy way to be found.
Yeah, that's right.
The audience votes. The record company knows, right, we're choosing this guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to go. And away he goes for the next few years. But really, they don't tour like we do. They don't play the ESPY and they don't play, you know, Mimo.
Mm-hmm.
They play at corporate events and they play at the races and they play at the thing. And that's
lovely places.
That's their thing and that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay because that's the new way of doing it. The way we were found was through actually MySpace, which comes before Facebook. Yeah. We made the EP, The Definition of Insanity, and then a French guy contacted us, and we went from there. And he said, we don't really deal in EPs. Well, can you do an album?
And so that's how you.
And we just basically went, we can actually. We'll just go and do 5 new songs, whack them together, and that's called Down to the Bone.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it,
It's cool. So what's, given the fact that you're a part of the Australian scene, rock scene, and you have been for such a long time, what's your opinion of the scene right now? When you sort of sit back and think, thinking about local bands and how, people are playing to 30 people at pubs and stuff like that, what's your opinion of it right now?
Honestly, I can't give you a learned opinion because I don't go and see bands anymore. Mm-hmm. The only bands I see are when they're with Electric Mary, supporting them or whatever. Mm-hmm. I used to go to the ESPY a lot.
Yes.
I liked the ESPY because they had music all the time.
That's right. You go in there and it doesn't matter who was on.
Yes.
Seeing something.
Yes, I would like that.
Yeah.
What I didn't like when Electric Mary got a little bit bigger, well, not huge by any stretch of imagination, is people used to talk to me all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I want to watch this band. Stop talking to me.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't ever say that. And I didn't mean in a rude way, but it was like wait till they finish and then yap all you want because I'll talk to anybody, man.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think that the industry needs to change? Because rock music, and I spoke to Brad Maher about this last week, and rock music in this country, there isn't support. It's not getting played on the radio anymore.
That's right.
There's no one is sort of pushing it. Do you think that the industry needs to change?
Well, it can only change from within though. We have to find, there has to be bands that are pushing their own barrow. Look, most bands have always pushed their own barrow anyway, and then when they get big enough, a record company would take them over and do what they needed to do with their thing. But like I said, I'm not really in the area of expertise or knowledge. I don't have a publisher. We don't have a record company. We just have distribution deals.
Yeah.
That's all we do. We make our own records. We pay for everything ourselves. And then somebody gives us some, a small amount of money to have the rights to sell it in their country or their area.
Right.
That's how we do it. That's how, if we could get a record company to give us $100,000,
yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it used to sort of work that way, and now you've almost got to become like a jack of all trades.
You do.
You've got to be a musician, you've got to be a manager, you've got to be a booking agent, you've got to be a bloody record company person. Yeah. You've got to do it all.
You've got to know the internet.
Yeah, you've got to know the internet, yeah. Exactly.
This is the thing. I read stories every now and then of the younger bands who know how to work the internet, who
savvy.
They move up the chain very quickly because the kids are onto it.
Yeah.
And the kids love it. I say kids, but they're probably 20 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. So, okay. So, what are your thoughts on Aussie bands? Because I said this to Brad as well. Like, there seems to be a lot of Aussie bands that are realising that they need to get overseas because there is a lack of support here.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that, on bands looking to relocate overseas? And a secondary question, what advice would you give the young bands that don't have, the contacts and stuff that you might have to try to get overseas and get themselves moving? What do you say to them?
Firstly, there's always a watering down of the rules. So when I was younger, you had to have an Australian support band if you were an overseas act.
Yeah.
And you had to have the same amount of members. I remember one tour, we hired another guy to be in our band because we were playing with Tina Turner. And Tina Turner had 6 people and we only had 5. So we hired another keyboard player.
Well, you had to have 6?
You had to have the same amount of people.
Why?
I have no idea, but that was the rule. That was the rule.
Wow.
Okay, now those bands who just say, you know what, we don't want Australian sport, we're bringing whoever with us.
Yeah.
Because that's the package the promoter wants, they just don't do it anymore.
But wasn't that a law that was put
It was a law. Phil Collins did it years and years ago. I know he's just been here. What he did was he hired a 6-piece string quartet and they came on stage with him.
Right.
So he got through that. Right? But
out.
Always in the old days. Foreigner, Cold Chisel.
Yeah.
They played together.
So why does that not happen anymore?
Because they don't care. Because the Australians, apparently, I've heard this, we made with America, we made this pact with everything, cattle, wheat, whatever, that we would only play, don't quote me on this, that we would only play 20% of our own music and we would play 49% of theirs, or it could even be 51. Like we could find this out, definitely.
In America?
No, in Australia.
In Australia.
So we signed a deal with them to say that we will play 49% of your music,
yeah, I'm with you.
but only 20% of ours. It was part of this thing they did. I forget who told me.
It's to do with the American, the international trade agreement.
Yeah, it's a trade agreement. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
and music was part of it.
Yeah.
I'm led to believe that's what's true.
Yeah.
Because they just don't play Australian music. And if they do, they don't play new Australian music.
No.
So they either don't believe in it or they play older stuff, which is okay too, because I don't care if I hear Richard Clapton on the radio. But what a lot of Aussies have done now, in a bad way, is this, where they think because they bought a Pro Tools system, they can do it themselves.
Yeah.
And they can't.
You mean writing and recording?
Writing and recording, mixing,
Yes.
producing.
Yes.
And everyone now lives by this. Oh, mate, love your studio, really want to come in. How much are you again? Oh, yeah, I'm $1,000 a day. Oh, could you do it for 300? They're not going to do it, man. They're not going to get there at 10 a.m. and go home at 10 p.m. For $300 a day.
No.
They're just not going to do it, and nor should they.
No. Well, that's right. You're running a business.
Yeah. Support bands still get $100. They got $100 in 1978.
Yes. So in regards to that, then, how do we change that? How do you make it? Because, I grew up through the 70s and 80s, and you a little bit before me, but also the 70s and 80s and all that sort of stuff. And we had all these Australian bands, and now we've got nothing. So what needs to change, in your opinion? Because you can't, Well,
I'll tell you, the thought process a few years ago was wrong. So a young band would drive a Toyota Corolla to a gig, and they'd get signed. And the very next gig, they'd hire a limo to go there. Just drive your Toyota Corolla, mate.
Rock stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And suddenly, because you remember, a record deal is like a bank loan.
Yeah, you got
to pay it back.
Correct.
So if you suddenly run up a $200,000 bill, the only answer is this: pay it back or break up.
Yeah.
And the blokes go, yeah, it's split up.
Too hard. Yeah.
It's too hard. And that's what happens. That's why distribution deals are bigger now, because it's easier just to get a few grand to say, okay, you have the rights to do that. That's no worries. And the Sonys and stuff will still just go, okay, we'll get this guy from The Voice or that girl from The Voice. Why on earth would they want to get 5 people from a band that they have to sit down with and argue with about what shirt they want to wear or whatever?
Yeah.
If you can get a 20-year-old band, no problem.
Yeah.
There's a band overseas. They're massive. I've forgotten their name. Are they 5 Seconds of Summer or something?
Oh, yeah.
They're Australian, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah.
Is it 5 Seconds of Summer?
Yeah, 5
Isn't there
Seconds of
5
Summer.
Seconds from Mars?
Yeah,
why would you call your band that? Anyway, but they're massive, man. I've seen them on different little things. They're massive. Because they were able to control that, the youth.
Yeah.
Right? They'll look at someone like me and go, look, really love you, mate.
Yeah.
You're a great guy or whatever. Not such a great guy. You're a great guy, but I know you're going to fight me on everything, so we're just not going to do it. And that's totally fine. That's their prerogative. Right? What they don't know about me is we really want to do it and we're not going to fight you.
Yeah.
We want to just go.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to. Why would we fight you at
that's
this
right.
age?
Exactly. Yeah. That's
we're still in a minuscule. We're in the tugboat, and we're not even in the tugboat. We're on the boat that sits on the side that people jump in when it's sinking. We're not on a ship.
No.
You know,
although you were.
Yeah,
It's a big boat.
We're on a big boat. Radiance of the Sea. It was
Radiance
called.
of the Sea. Yes. Okay. So, all right. So, if you were starting a band from scratch right now.
Yep.
And you had no contacts, no history, no nothing.
Yep.
What would you? How would you go about it? What would the Rusty now have said to him, the younger Rusty? How would you do it now?
How old am I?
50.
No, how old am I? How old am I when I'm doing this?
You're 21.
Okay. Think about this. When I started in bands, you know what your dream was? Owning your own PA and a truck.
Yeah.
Because you had to get to gigs and set up a PA.
Yes.
And all those big bands you supported, Midnight Oils and that, they didn't want your $100. No. They wanted the 2 workers because they didn't want to go to bed at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Send your band in and send them in now.
Right.
Like, yeah, they're angry guys.
Yeah.
So, if I was living at home, I'd be getting all the members of the band, because everything has to be professional. I would get all the mums and dads, if they really believed in it, to maybe go guarantor on a loan.
Right.
You'd want to know you're good though.
Exactly.
This is the trouble with bands. They think they're good when they're not.
Yeah. Yes.
Right, because all their mates going, you're this, you're that.
Yeah.
So I'd go guarantor on a loan. I'd wait till I wrote 25 songs, 30 songs. Right?
Yeah.
And really think about them. Think about, is it good or am I just thinking it's good because it's me?
Yes.
I'd borrow, I don't know how much, what did I say, 30 grand or something. I'd use some money to record demos after I was everyone in the band was happy with them.
Yeah.
And I probably need more than 30 grand. You probably need 40 now.
Yeah.
I spend 5-10 grand on demos. Then I'd hawk them around to record companies. I ain't even sure how that works anymore. And if it didn't, I'd then go and look for, in the genre I liked, who are the producers in Australia or wherever.
Yes.
And offer them a certain amount of money to record us and make a record and come with a product.
Yeah.
If you can come with a product and you've got your Facebooks and your Instagrams and that running, that would be more beneficial for me. I believe now. Can you imagine this? Could you imagine if you were in 1981 and you'd made a few good songs, 2 or 3?
Yeah.
They're not going to listen to 20 songs. Record companies aren't going to listen to 20 songs.
Right.
Because they always say, yeah, they're pretty good, go back and do some more.
Yeah, give us more.
Right. Can you imagine if you gave your tape that you worked your heart and soul with to a record company guy who, on the way to work, someone crashed into him, versus when he got to work, his secretary gave him a big smooch. Now, his ears aren't, and his brain, if he gets crashed into on the way and he's got to put your tape on, he's not listening to it the same way.
Correct.
But if his secretary gave him a big smooch on the lips and he's sitting down and he's relaxed and he's listening a different way, right? And the one thing I used to say, which is completely ludicrous, I used to think, why are they on the radio?
Yeah.
My songs are better than them, but I haven't even given my songs. So how do they know? They don't know me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I don't think like that anymore.
No.
It doesn't matter to me. Really, rival sons should be on Triple M.
Yeah.
Every day. But what if they're not released in Australia? If that's an import record that we get.
So you can't.
They're of no value to Triple M.
Yeah.
No value at all.
Yeah.
Because they're never going to get a rooftop show or a show for the workers or whatever. Jay's never going to come with the acoustic guitar and sing.
Yeah.
Because they don't even have an audience in Australia. They played a gig, they have. They played here, didn't they? Where they played Cherry Bar.
Yeah, I think so.
The Cherry Bar.
Well, could be.
Yeah, how many is that hole?
I don't know, 200.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with the place, but what I'm saying is, me and you look at the rival sons and go, wow. But the general audience, they probably got 150 people there.
Because they're not being played on the radio.
But it's an imported act.
Yeah.
Triple M don't need to play them. There's no value to play them. There's value to play the Foo Fighters because the Foo Fighters are going to come back to Amy Park.
Yes.
They come every 2 years or 3 years.
Yes.
But they always bring
Yes.
someone from another country with them as their support band.
Yeah.
They don't have Aussies on there. Now that's Dave's downfall.
Very interesting.
Mate.
Very interesting.
His production manager is Australian.
Yeah.
I know him.
You know him?
He should be playing Australian bands. I'm not saying me, but they should just find Australian bands and they should make the rules because he is a bit of a saviour for rock music.
Definitely.
Like I love that stuff he does.
Yeah.
And he puts in hard.
Hard work.
Go the whole way though. No one is ever, there's not many, very few support bands that are going to blow off the main act.
No.
Because the people are there to see the main act. They may like the support band and go, wow, didn't know I was getting that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
But they're never going to blow off the support band.
No.
And you know what the other thing is? Bands do now? They make you pay to go on the tour.
Yeah, well, I could talk about that with you all day and perhaps that's one for another
We better
time.
have another conversation because, think about this.
Yeah.
If you're with a record company, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to get your band bigger, would you pay 20 grand to have a full colour page ad in Rolling Stone? Or would you just give whoever, I'm not saying, rival sons 20 grand to be their support band
on the tour
throughout Europe and play 5 nights a week in front of, over there, they'd probably play in front of 2,000 people.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Yeah, exactly. You know where you're going with that. Definitely. One last question.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm going to let you go. What advice would you give? And it kind of relates back to the other one, but advice for new bands coming through. It's a really fucking hard industry.
Yep.
You've been a part of it for a while. I've been a part of it for a while. We've got our own ideas about how to do things. What do you tell people? What do you tell young bands?
The first thing I'd say is this: know who you are. And whatever it is you're doing, obviously you're allowed to change along the way.
Yes.
And when you're looking for band members, find the right people. Don't just get your mate because he's your mate and he's available and he plays bass.
Yes.
Because if you love Anthrax and he loves Michael Jackson, eventually you're going to crumble.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not going to work forever. So find another guy who's into Anthrax or a similar band, whatever it is, and bring them along. Because it's not easy to do.
No,
I mean, in all honesty, our band now is a bit of that. Our things have got wider.
Right.
Alex has come into the fold, so he was always Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
He wouldn't listen to Queen or Foreigner or that. He's Metallica, mate. Now he's into Foreigner, loves Foreigner. Even said the other day Queen, but he likes Radio Gaga or something like that. Anyway, I'll teach him.
Yeah.
So Pete and I have always had it.
Yes.
Brett's different because he's a blues guy. He's a Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Right.
But in the wider genre, Stevie Ray Vaughan fits into us because
definitely.
We want those guitar solos or that way of playing in our blues-based rock band.
Yeah.
Now Spider is another one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even...
character, Spider.
Great character.
Great bloke.
Yeah.
Great drummer.
Great drummer. We've only had good drummers.
Yeah.
Venom was a great drummer and he had his thing.
Yeah.
Davey had his thing and now Spider has. I think Spider has a little bit of both but more of his own.
Yeah.
Which was, Davey was nothing like Venom.
Right.
And Venom was nothing like Davey. Whereas Spider has a bit of that and a bit of that and then his own thing. So find the right people for your band or you're going to waste a lot of time.
Exactly.
Most people go, "Oh yeah, it's awesome in this band because we're all like different bands." And no, sorry.
When it comes to sit down and room and working, different.
And one guitarist wants to go, and one wants to go.
Yeah, that's right.
You'll eventually just go like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's what happens. And if you play live, that's when you really feel it. The hell are you playing, mate?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, you might record a heavy riff and then during a live show just...
Yeah, you're playing something totally different.
Whatever. Look, that's...
Interesting.
I'm possibly generalising, but that, you asked me what I believe.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
And when I got this band together, like I said, let's make a band like we were when we were 16. Sweet, Status Quo, Thin Lizzy, Deep Purple. They played. And if it was a 10-minute drum solo, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I used to pay everyone in our band at the start because I didn't know how far I was going to go.
Right.
Everyone who played got $100 on the night when we played.
Yeah.
I paid for everything. I did demos and I gave them away at the gigs. Here. So after 3 gigs, people knew 9 of our songs. Yes.
That's right.
People will go, "What are you doing that for?"
Promo.
I go, "Mate, when they come to the 4th gig, they're going to know all our songs.
That's right. Promo.
Otherwise, they're going to have to come to 25 gigs to work out how the song goes."
Correct. I like it.
Yeah.
That is very,
I don't
very
pay anyone anymore, by the way.
No, stay
We're in that much debt.
Yeah, they can get stuck. No, look, I really appreciate that because, I think, I'm trying to do these interviews with people that are more experienced than me in the industry and have a lot more knowledge because there are issues in this industry that we need to try to turn around. And I think, people like yourself have got so much knowledge and experience and you can give it to younger bands, young people to help them come through.
We should start doing seminars, mate.
Bloody oath.
So I went to a music industry thing once.
Yes.
And I'll go after this. I went to a music industry thing once, and I said something like I said before. If you had $5,000, and this was in front of a lot of people, I wasn't being a smartass, but I probably came across as a smartass. If you had $5,000, would you put an ad in Rolling Stone? Yeah. There was something else, or would you go to JB Hi-Fi and buy $5,000 worth of your own record, make it chart, and then you would sell them anyway at gigs.
Yeah, I've known of a band that did that.
Heaps of bands did
Heaps of bands
that.
do it.
Heaps of bands did that.
Yes.
Because you know why? This is the thing though. I'm not sure if this is true now, and please don't cut me out of the industry, but Australian gold records, platinums and all that are based on shipping, not sales.
That's right.
Right.
That's spot on.
So there's a certain person that sold 3 gold records but only sold 4,000 records.
Yep. That's true. That happens.
On that note.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate your insight
No
and your
problem.
experience. This man is someone that you young bands out there should really take note of. He's got a hell of a lot of experience and knowledge.
You should pay me to do a seminar. Seminar.
Yeah, seminar.
Cinema.
Yeah.
In the cinema.
Yeah. I don't know how responsive he is to anyone messaging him, asking him for advice. He's always been good to me.
I'm good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk, no worries.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he's a guy with a lot of experience. So if you want to know things, contact people like him.
Yep.
Because he's always willing to help.
And I've made heaps of mistakes too.
Yeah, that's right.
Heaps of
We
mistakes.
all
Still
have.
making them.
Yeah. So
Like
thank you,
today.
mate. Yeah.
Get out of
Get
bed.
to that later. Thank you, mate.
See ya.
See ya.